Hi there, you found us here at Storytime with Miss Becky. I'm Miss Becky, and this is our friend Bear who loves to read along with you. Bear has a question for you. Do you ever feel like trying to do something new, but someone else says, "No, not that"? Once that happened? Well, Matt the Mole wants to try building a high hill so he can see the world, but his brother Tim only wants to dig a deep hole, as usual. So Bear says, hurry, let's put on the magic reading glasses and see what happens, because these two brothers are getting mad at each other. Holy Moly by Pfister. Tim and Matt, two young mole brothers, were sitting together in a nice grassy field. They were as different as night and day. Want to play something? Asked Matt. Playing is good, said Tim. What should we play? We could make something. Making something is good, Tim nodded. I've always wanted to make a hill, said Matt. A really huge hill. Hills are no good, said Tim. They're hot and high. I would much rather dig a hole, a really deep hole. A hole? Asked Matt. We spend our entire lives underground, and finally, when we have the chance to be outside, you want to turn around and dig a hole? That's the silliest thing I ever heard. Mama said that we have to dig a lot of holes to become big, strong moles, Tim said defiantly. Mama said this, Mama said that. Matt was getting annoyed. You don't always do everything Mama says. If we build a hill, we could see over the tall grass and find out what else there is out there in the world. What else could there possibly be? Tim said. All you'd see is grass, grass, and more grass, and a lot of dirt from mole holes. You are so boring. You have absolutely no imagination, accused Matt. I am not boring. Yes, you are. Then Tim shoved Matt, and Matt pushed Tim, and soon they were rolling on the ground. I don't want to play with you anymore, cried Tim and stamped furiously away. Who would want to play with you anyway? Matt bellowed after him. So Tim began to dig his own hole. It was no fun at all, but at least Mama would be proud of his good work. And Matt worked just as hard on his hill to show Tim that he could build a giant hill all by himself. But the ground was hard and the work was lonely, and as the two moles dug in the dirt, their anger melted away, and so did their desire to be digging all alone in the field. Tim longed to lie down in his hole and take a nap, but his hole was still way too small. Matt longed to be high on his hill, looking out over the world. But even though he stood on the tips of his toes and craned his neck as far as it would stretch, his hill was still much too low. He simply could not see over the tall grass. He decided to go take a peek at Tim's hole and see how he was coming along. Tim was also curious. he slipped through the grass to spy on Matt. He wondered just how big his hill would be. When Tim saw Matt's hill, he shook his head. There was something funny about this. When Matt saw Tim's hole, he couldn't believe his eyes. They had both built exactly the same thing. By digging a hole, Tim had tossed up a pile of dirt, making a small hill. By building up a hill, Matt had had to dig up dirt, leaving a small hole. Matt was the first to snort with laughter. Then Tim giggled and they crawled out of their hiding places. Once again, the two of them rolled on the ground, but this time they were laughing. "That's what we get for fighting," giggled Matt. "If we'd worked together, then you would have had a deep hole and I would have a huge hill." "We still can," said Tim. "Come on, let's go." The two little moles put all their energy into the work. They shoveled and scooped, they piled and they packed, and soon the hole was big enough so both of them could stretch out side by side. And the hill was so huge that, well, Matt couldn't wait to climb to the top. "This is great," said Matt. "Let's climb the hill." "First, I want to take a little nap," Tim said, and he curled up happily in his hole. Matt climbed up his hill. He gazed, full of astonishment at all the wonderful things in the world. Bear's wondering, were you surprised to see the brothers finally working together? How do you think they felt when they saw they could both get what they wanted faster that way? A little silly? Well, Bear's asking, do you think even though they were fighting, these brothers really love each other? What do you think? Bear also hopes you come back soon for more adventures in working together. Bye for now. Please subscribe.